Welcome to episode 301 of the Various and Sundry podcast. I'm your host, Matt Harmon, joined live in the Vault Studio, the beautiful campus of Grace College and Grace Theological Seminary, by my good friend, my colleague, my co-host, and the man who has more hot takes than episode 300 could handle, John Scott Sloat.
I had a couple more hot takes.
Yeah, as did I.
I don't know that they were particularly hot, but we had some clamoring for more hot takes.
The people want them.
Yeah.
And by the people, I mean one person.
One person.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are episode 301, John. We're in the 300s now.
That's great. It means you could take almost take an entire year and listen to an episode every day.
Yeah, we're close.
We're pushing it. Give us another year.
One more year of recording, and we're basically
You're in a quarter.
we could turn it into like a daily devotional.
Yep.
An audio daily devotional.
Yeah.
Have our crack editors pick little snippets that you could listen to for like 3 minutes every day.
Mm-hmm.
From each episode.
Lasting Joys. We could call it Lasting Joys.
Got to get on that. We got to monetize that. Got to monetize
Make
that.
an app.
Yeah, in my spare time. So we are recording. This is the second latest we've ever recorded during the week.
Yeah, outside of a pre-episode for the following week. We've recorded on Thursdays and Fridays before.
Right, but in terms of recording an episode for release this week.
Yeah, this might be tied. I think we've done one other episode in this.
No, we did a Wednesday episode.
Did we?
When my retina detached, yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, special circumstances.
Yeah, so we're just late.
Which had happened to somebody else in town, by the way.
Their retina detached?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's not an uncommon thing. It's not like happening every day, but
I'll tell you who after.
Okay. They probably don't want to be outed on the pod.
Probably not. But
Okay. So
I didn't ask them permission.
it's fair enough.
They also did not tell me about their retina detaching. Somebody else told me. So
Okay. Inside info. If you'd like to contact the show and get more insider information, you can find us on X at VNSPod. You can email the show, variousandsundrypodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and on YouTube, and we would love for you to leave a 5-star rating. All right, John, let's jump right in.
okay, let's do it.
Let's talk some sports. Where are you going to start?
I mean, we have college football listed first.
That's typically what we always have listed first, though. But we can start there.
That sounds good.
All right. Over the weekend, yes, big college football weekend. Ohio State continued their steady improvement, dominating Minnesota 42-3.
Yep.
And a name that people who may not follow college football but follow NFL football, a name they'll want to sort of file away, Carnell Tate, wide receiver for Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith gets all the attention because he's great, but Carnell Tate will be coming out in the NFL draft this upcoming year, and he, I think, will probably continue the streak of – how many years is it now? I think it's 4 or 5 now of an Ohio State wide receiver going in the first round. So he'll be the next first-round draft pick. The big story of the weekend was UCLA, winless UCLA, a 24.5-point underdog on their own home field, stunned Penn State 42-37.
UCLA, who famously does not spend enough money on athletics to be a D1 program.
Basically, yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, historically very good program, particularly in basketball.
Yeah, but they just haven't committed any money to the football program.
Right. And they beat Penn State.
They did. And part of what even makes this even more sort of embarrassing is UCLA changed their offensive coordinator at the beginning of this past week. So this was a first-time offensive coordinator. Had never called plays in a game. And they put up 42 points on Penn State.
Wowzers.
Yeah. It's Rick Neuheisel's son.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So huge upset there.
Initially, so we had homecoming this weekend on campus,
Yeah.
and so I text a friend who follows college football religiously, who's not you, and asked him, all right, give me the headlines from college football today. And this was initially reported to me as a 42-0 victory for UCLA.
Okay. It was not 42-0.
And I texted him as I was leaving the parking lot and got that and listened to it on my Apple CarPlay and just went, oh my goodness, that's insane.
Yeah.
And I'm going home thinking, this was the greatest upset of all time.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
and got home and looked up the score and went, oh, it's an upset.
Yeah.
But
I mean, UCLA was up 20 at the half. I mean, they dominated that whole game. Penn State made a rally but couldn't quite close the deal. A lot of unhappy people in Happy Valley. Alabama beats Vanderbilt.
that's to be expected, though.
Yeah, but Vanderbilt came into that game 5-0. And probably the biggest kind of ranked matchup, Miami beat Florida State.
3 versus 18. Yep.
So I think at this stage in the season, it feels like, and again, these things can easily change, that the top 3 teams thus far are, and you can debate the order, Ohio State, Oregon, and Miami.
Okay. Couple other games I'll mention. Florida beat Texas.
They did.
So upset there. Feels
Yes.
like Texas needs to not be a top 10 team.
They are not ranked now.
Really, they were ranked 9.
Yes, they went from 9 to not ranked.
Wowzers.
As did, yeah. So
And Cincinnati beat Iowa State
Yes.
as well. That was another upset.
So if I remember correctly, you have 3 of the top 5 teams in the preseason AP poll are not ranked. Clemson, Texas, and LSU. So that kind of shows you what preseason polls can be worth.
I got LSU at 11 here.
Oh, I'm sorry. That I'm thinking of somebody else. It's Clemson. I know Clemson and Texas are not ranked.
Clemson and Texas are out.
Who is another one? Is Notre Dame ranked? Maybe they're back in the rankings
They're
now.
16.
Okay. They had basically fallen out or on the borderline of falling out. So, in any case, preseason rankings, buyer beware.
Yeah.
This upcoming weekend, you've got Ohio State traveling to Champaign to take on the Fighting Illini.
Number 17.
Yeah. So, another test for Ohio State on the road.
Alabama at Missouri.
Amala who?
Amabala.
Amabala what?
Indiana, Oregon.
That's the big. I knew I was missing one. Yes.
Let's see.
That's
others?
Indiana at Oregon. That's a 3:30 kick, I think, right? I think so.
Yeah, 3:30 on CBS.
Yeah. I think
Not a sponsor of this podcast.
correct. I think Oregon will win that. Okay. I know you don't want to talk about your Jets, but we have to. We're contractually obligated. It's in the fine print of your contract. John.
Yeah.
All right. So they lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah. There was about a minute 27 that defined that game.
Yes, I was listening to the game as I was on the road, not watching, listening.
So we were running the ball well. We're not passing well, but we were running the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
And Brees Hall fumbled the ball.
Yep.
There's a consistency to our season here.
Fumbling the ball as you're about to score a touchdown?
Yeah, he wasn't about to score. He was probably at the 15 or the 20, but
Okay.
regardless. Cowboys score real quick, touchdown, and it was 10-3 when he fumbled the ball.
Right.
And there was a chance we were going to go in, tie the game,
That's right.
and
Head into halftime, basically tied. Yeah.
tied 10-10,
Yeah.
which would, if there's a moral victory, that was one of them. So Brees fumbles, Cowboys go down and score, kickoff to the Jets. Jets have a 3-and-out and give the ball back to the Cowboys with 30 seconds, something like that.
Yes.
And they hand the ball off, which is like giving up.
Yeah. Yeah, like we're content. We're going into the half.
60-yard run down to the 1.
Yeah.
5 seconds left. He gets out of bounds, right? So they run 2 plays, score another touchdown. So we're talking if you count that we could have gotten a touchdown, that is a 21-point swing.
Yes.
And that was the game.
Yep.
It was over at that point. They have some soul searching to do. They brag this offseason about how they cut all their older players. And I think that left a little bit of a vacuum of leadership in that locker room.
All right.
Which is a fine thing to do if you believe in the guys to step up and fill it.
Yes.
Garrett Wilson seems to be one of the people stepping up and filling that.
Okay.
Brees, not so much from what I could tell. And Sauce Gardner, not at all. So he gave up a touchdown in this game. Overall, had a good game. Mm-hmm. Gave up 2 catches to one of the better wide receivers in the league. Bad. And they said, what happened on the touchdown? He said, blown coverage, which is like safety was supposed to be there, wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can say, well, there was a blown coverage on that play, but I need to be better so that it doesn't matter if there's a blown coverage. There's a way to say that in a way where you come off with taking accountability, taking ownership.
Indeed.
And not blaming others.
Indeed.
So we have the Broncos in London this next week.
During church.
Get a little frog in my throat there.
Yeah, I mean, remember your pastor listens to this podcast. Yeah. So yes, and the Broncos, they're
very good.
They're a good team. Who did they beat? They beat. Didn't they beat? Who did they beat? I was listening. I was flipping around to a lot of different games as I was in the car on the way home.
I'm working on it.
Come on, crack research staff.
The Eagles. They beat the Eagles.
That's right. The Eagles. Okay.
First Eagles loss.
I think, the Broncos are better than I expected. Bo Nix is a better NFL quarterback than I've expected. I am excited to see J.K. Dobbins do well on the Broncos there. So,
always playing the Jets. He'll have a good game.
Yeah. So, okay. Do you want to touch on baseball real quick? Like, I have not checked on what's going on in the playoffs.
Nope. I have not watched.
Okay. Are we to the divisional round yet? Do we know?
Yeah, we're in the divisional round.
Okay.
We're finishing up the divisional round.
Okay. So
sometime middle of this week.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So I have not really paid significant attention, but apparently, let's see. Today we've got. So we're recording on the day this episode releases. So Seattle and Detroit are in a rain delay. Got Toronto and New York tonight. So anyway, the story that I really wanted to get to during the sports segment is what in the world is going on with Mark Sanchez.
So I have not followed this super closely. I also haven't followed any conspiracy theories online. So any insanity that comes out of my mouth is my own.
Okay. Okay.
As I understand it, and please correct me if you've heard different.
Okay.
I've not read an article about this, but have just kind of have had a few touch points with it in the news. But basically, as I understand, he was in Indianapolis looking for the Various and Sundry live show. That did not happen.
Yes.
Ordered some sort of food delivery service. And there's video of him. I've seen the video of him.
I haven't seen the video.
Walking down the street with his hand over an apparent stab wound.
Oh, interesting.
Where he got stabbed.
Okay. Now, we should probably clarify. Mark Sanchez, former quarterback for the New York Football Jets.
And the Washington Commanders.
He of the butt fumble from the...
Also back-to-back AFC Championship game appearances in 2009 and 2010.
It's true. He is now a commentator.
He's carved out a nice little niche for himself.
For CBS?
I don't know.
I think.
I hear him on the radio all the time. He does a good job.
And he was in Indianapolis to call the Indianapolis Las Vegas game. That's why he was in Indianapolis.
Is that why he was there?
Yes.
Okay.
And apparently, and at first it's funny how the initial story, the initial reports were very vague.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Sanchez hospitalized with stab wounds. And you're like,
are those two related?
That's interesting. And it felt like it went like a day before there was like, well, here's the backstory, apparently.
Well, and then I think that evening it came out, Mark Sanchez arrested for battery.
Battery, yeah.
I don't know how you do battery and get stabbed. You're doing it poorly.
You're clearly doing it wrong.
But yeah, that's about the extent of my knowledge of the subject.
Okay, so from what I understand, he had a confrontation with a delivery truck driver. So I don't know what he was doing in that area of. It was at a hotel, I think, or near a hotel.
Okay.
And the delivery truck driver was, for some reason, confronted by Mark Sanchez, who was apparently inebriated, I think, if I understand.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That does not surprise me either.
And the guy tried to get away from Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez got physical with him. Apparently, the driver feared for his life, pulled out a knife to defend himself. And to my knowledge, he has not been arrested. The driver has.
The driver has not.
Yeah.
There must be video of this.
So apparently the police have believed this story of this delivery driver, and so. But it's interesting that the one who gets stabbed gets charged. That was your first clue. Like, wait a minute, he was stabbed and now he's being arrested. Just wild.
We'll continue to follow the story and follow up with. Okay, so it was a delivery driver at the hotel.
That's my understanding.
This is a delivery driver dropping off UPS packages potentially, or catering delivery,
something.
Or mass quantities of food for the hotel.
Sure,
and presumably on the loading dock of this hotel.
That's my understanding.
Okay, that probably makes a bit of sense. Some of these hotels have back doors where the rich and famous come in, where they bring the food in.
Yeah, it's just a wild story. Like when it first broke, like stabbed, and in Indianapolis, Indianapolis is a relatively safe city.
Yep.
I'm like, my first thought was, did he get in a bar fight? Did he mouth off to somebody? Mouth off to the wrong guy? I don't know. But anyway, that's wild.
Let me see if I can find that video for you here, which will make for great radio.
Yeah, absolutely. But what a weird story that was. All right, while you're doing that, I'll transition us to our main topic for today.
Go right ahead.
We are starting a series called Know Your Heretics. And so I believe this was your brainchild, which I thought, hey, this is a good idea. We should do this.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Every now and then, an idea strikes.
There you go. And so we're going to do a series. I don't remember how many episodes we've got queued up for this, but
a few.
A few, yeah. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. We've got 6. Wow. Okay. So 6, including today, episodes of Know Your Heretics. And we're talking about early church, like church history, like old school heretics, not modern day and contemporary heretics. That would be a different series. So let me start with this, John. Why is it important to know about these ancient heresies? Because you might have somebody saying, well, okay, why focus on these when there are contemporary heretics out there today? Why is it important to know about these ancient heretics and these ancient heresies?
So two things come to mind, and you can feel free to add to these. But one, there's very little new under the sun. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the ways we can look at these ancient heresies can help us deal with modern heresies.
Okay.
They can help us spot these heresies, recognize them as heresies. For instance, you and I would be in agreement. Church of Latter-day Saints would be a heretical group.
Yes.
It was interesting. There was that awful shooting at a Mormon Latter-day Saint church.
Yes, in Michigan.
Michigan. What was that? 2 weeks ago.
Week and a half, maybe. Yeah, something like that.
And there was a lot of people online defending this as a evangelical church, Church of Latter-day Saints. And I go, you don't know any heretics.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
Christian theology or Mormonism.
Correct.
So that's
though, as a caveat, I will say, it sure feels like the LDS Latter-day Saints are trying to present themselves as, in terms of their PR, as a branch, as a version of Christianity.
Yeah. Yes, I think they do position themselves that way.
Exactly. So, and that is a PR effort on their part that should be obviously rejected because they are not. It's not like we're talking about the difference between Presbyterians and Baptists or Methodists and Lutherans.
Yeah.
We're talking a completely different kind of framework here that is outside the boundaries of Christian orthodoxy.
So that's my first reason. Knowing ancient heresies can help us understand modern ones because there's very little new under the sun.
Yep.
The second reason is understanding these ancient heresies help us understand our creeds and confessions because our creeds and confessions bubble up from dealing with some of these ancient heresies.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think just about – let me put it this way. I would say every confessional statement is at least influenced by its contemporary setting and whatever sort of heretical ideas are out there. Mm-hmm. And so, you think about today, right? Until recently, most churches probably did not have a statement as part of either their doctrinal statement or somewhere in their sort of, statement of beliefs about sexuality, because that's a relatively historically new area. So the Apostles' Creed does not lay out a theology, a biblical perspective on marriage and sexuality. The 1689 London Baptist Confession does not do that. Westminster
despite being wildly detailed.
Yeah, does not mention that. And so all that to say, all of these are – every confessional statement, at least at some level, is influenced by contemporary concerns. And so, as you said, then understanding the larger context of when these heresies are going on and what's happening does help us understand maybe why certain things show up in confessional statements and creeds. So let's dive right in. Here's who's our first
Our first and maybe champion heresy. I should say heresy. This is not a particular heretic.
Correct.
Is the Gnostics.
Yeah,
and are probably one of the first heretics, heresies that are out there.
Yeah.
I think there's some. You can make an argument that early Ebionites were out there, but that's for another episode.
Yes.
But yeah, the Gnostics were definitely early versions of the Gnostics are definitely spoken about, at least by the Apostle John, if not Paul.
Yeah, you've got. I think it's fair to say what we might call proto-Gnosticism.
Yeah.
In the New Testament.
Absolutely.
Not a full-blown belief system, but the pieces are there that some of the New Testament writers are addressing. You've got Paul, for example, at the end of 1 Timothy, talking about responding to those who purport to have what is so-called knowledge, gnosis. Mm-hmm. And, I think that's a pretty clear indicator that there's at least a incipient, in seed form kind of Gnosticism. But it doesn't.
That's where Gnostics get their name, right? The gnosis, the
Yes.
special knowledge, the sort of secret knowledge that's out there about Jesus, about God, about his actions and belief in the world.
Yes, but you don't really get what we might call full-blown Gnosticism till the 2nd century, I would say. Full-blown.
Full-blown, no. There's definitely people that we classify as Gnostic who definitely appeared in the 1st century. I mean, I have a quote from Irenaeus who talks about the Apostle John, fleeing one of these Gnostics. It's a funny quote.
Yeah.
That I'll bring up in just a moment.
Yeah.
But I've taken to this. I think this is pretty much mine. I don't know that I've heard anybody else say this, but Gnostic is really just sort of a catch-all term for heretics in probably the first 3 centuries that had a similar grouping of beliefs.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So some of those beliefs were that there is a false God that created the world, and each Gnostic teacher sort of had their own vibe of a creation narrative and how the earth came to be. However, but this God was false. One of the big things we see in Gnosticism is that the created world and matter itself, sort of the fleshiness of humans, is evil in and of itself, and only the spiritual is good.
Correct.
And so you have this dichotomy where like God, sort of the traditional Old Testament creation narrative can't be true then because matter itself is evil.
So it starts with a philosophical premise.
Yeah.
Ultimately. At least several of them perhaps. But like you said, one of the primary ones is matter is inherently bad or evil. Mm-hmm. Only the spiritual realm is good. And once you start with that, then any God who actually made.
Yeah. Or a God that creates us to work.
Yeah. That's that can't be the true God. It has to be something wrong. And so you're also then splitting off sort of the quote unquote the God of the Old Testament from Jesus in the New Testament, driving a wedge between those.
Right. And the true God is all spirit.
Yes.
Right. All spirit, does not like matter, does not like the evil that matter. And, as in sort of this catch-all framework, this led to a very deep dualism in Gnosticism. Mm-hmm. And then this inevitably leads to Jesus can't be human.
Right.
Which feels like a leap. But then when you begin with that premise, and you work your way through it, you end up with Christ not being human.
Yeah. So eventually that flowers into what comes to be known as Docetism, right? Mm-hmm. That he only seemed
human.
He wasn't actually human.
Correct. And, that causes all sorts of problems with the crucifixion that we'll get into.
Yep.
But the cross was an allegorical event. If it happened, so therefore it didn't happen because Jesus can't kill a spirit, right?
Right.
So, or as one person wrote in a paper for me, what was it? Oh my goodness. Well, we know Jesus wasn't a ghost because ghosts are incapable of love. And Jesus loves us. So,
some profound.
Yes, it's one of my favorite quotes from a student's paper.
Yes,
but I have a couple Gnostic leaders here.
I think we should probably make sure we kind of touched on this, but the idea of secret knowledge.
Yes.
That again, the term gnosis is the Greek term. For knowledge, but they're not talking knowledge in general. They presented themselves as having access to secret knowledge that they were privileged to have, but others didn't, and that formed the basis of their teachings.
Well, and there is Gnostic literature out there,
Yes.
Gospel of Judas, things like that, and they're dated much later. Than the Gospels themselves, 200 years later. And they always are just like, Gospel of Judas is a conversation between Jesus and Judas, and Jesus giving him, I'm saying all these things, but here's the real skinny.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me give it to you straight.
Yeah.
Here's the secret knowledge. So,
Yep.
Do you mind if I touch on a few of these?
I insist that you do.
Okay. I'm going to mispronounce names.
That's one of the reasons why I insist that you do.
So Cerinthus is the – how did I do on that one? How would you pronounce that?
Well, I would go with Corinthus.
Corinthus.
I'd go with a hard C as opposed to the soft C.
Oh, my goodness.
But
anyway, earliest Gnostic we know of. He taught that the world was created by a lesser deity, an angelic power. The divine Christ descended at baptism and departed before the crucifixion.
Yeah.
Kind of classic. You can see like we're keeping Jesus out of sort of the bloody matter part of it.
Yeah.
And there's this great quote from Irenaeus that he mentions about, how do you say that again? Corinthus.
Yeah.
About Corinthus and how John responded to him, and I'll just read it here real quick. It got out of order on our notes. I don't know how that happened. And there were some who have been told by him now how that John, the Lord's disciple in Ephesus, going to bathe and seeing Corinthus in the place, leaped out of the bath without using it, adding, "Let us fly, lest the very bath fall on us, where Corinthus, the enemy of truth, is."
Yeah.
Some strong words.
That's the Apostle John. He's going to tell it like it is.
Yeah. I mean, much more direct than anything he actually wrote in the New Testament. But, all right. So that's Corinthus.
Yeah.
How would you pronounce that next one?
Basilides.
Basilides. Now, Basilides is a little bit different, a little bit later. He comes from Alexandria, so comes from Egypt. So Alexandrians always have like a little bit of a weird view of life for whatever reason. A lot of wealth, a lot going on in Alexandria. He claimed to have gotten the secret knowledge from someone who was very close to Peter, but he was very explicit that it was not Mark.
Yeah, because Mark wrote a gospel.
Mark wrote a gospel. Exactly.
That's very non-Gnostic.
Exactly. Suggested that there were 365 creator angels out there.
One for every day of the year.
And then I love this, not as truth, but just as like just pulling stuff out of the air, man.
Yeah.
He taught that Jesus switched places with Simon of Cyrene, and Jesus transformed himself to look like Simon and Simon to look like him, and Jesus escaped laughing.
So remember, Simon of Cyrene is the one who was drafted to carry the crossbeam for Jesus because he was so weak. And what Basilides is saying is that was all this elaborate escape plan
Yes.
for Jesus. That's
Yeah.
I mean
that's some Mission Impossible stuff right there with the
Yeah.
changing faces.
yeah, points for creativity, I guess. But
Finally, Valentinius.
I just go Valentinus.
Valentinus.
Yeah.
This is sort of probably the pinnacle of Gnosticism right here.
He's the goat. Is he the goat of
I'm not willing to say
Gnosticism?
that. There are still Gnostic teachers out there today.
True.
So Valentinus
Okay.
did not have the internet, right?
That's true. Okay.
But the greatest of the 2nd century heretics,
Okay.
he claimed secret knowledge through Paul's disciples.
Okay.
Interesting play.
Yeah.
Taught that Jesus had a different kind of body than other humans, and that even he disposed of food in a different manner rather than
The normal biological processes of going to the bathroom, he did not experience.
Correct, because matter is evil, right? This process is
Okay.
definitely feels like somebody with some bowel issues, and definitely puts that on to Jesus here.
Well, we're all tempted to project upon Jesus our own image, and so that's
Absolutely,
one way of doing it.
But it just gets to sort of that mind frame, right? Sort of the all matter is evil, spiritual is good, and even the process of ingesting food, digesting food, and relieving oneself is an evil act.
Yes.
And they try to separate Jesus from it.
Okay. So how do you see Gnosticism affecting the church today?
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm not necessarily asking you to identify a specific false teacher
Gnostics.
or like a specific Gnostic.
Yeah.
I'm saying just broadly speaking, how do you see it?
And to be clear, I think there are a handful of Gnostics out there that would be self-proclaimed Gnostics. They have websites. They do things. I do think there is a tendency to talk about religious things and have that sort of dualism in our own thinking, right?
Yeah.
That the spiritual is good and earth, all matter is evil.
Yeah.
And while I don't think those people would go to the extent that the Gnostics go, I think some of the breadcrumbs of thinking that are baked into the human experience.
Yeah.
And people end up thinking this way. And so I think I know Protestant evangelicalism best, right, as one of them.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit of, that, the desire to escape the world, be in the afterlife, be with Christ.
Yeah.
And to not be here, which in a certain space is a really good thing.
Yes.
But when you disparage earthly callings, when you disparage good things on earth that the Lord has given you, I think you can end up not as a full-blown Gnostic. Don't hear me say that, but Gnostic-ish.
Yeah, Gnostic adjacent.
Yes, Gnostic adjacent. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you hear people say things like, well, since the only things that are going to last into eternity are the Word of God and people's souls, and everything else is going to burn, we should be focusing all of our energy and efforts on evangelism.
Right.
Well, no.
Or you should not build buildings out of brick, because why would you build buildings out of brick when it's all going to burn here soon?
Right. Or you get people who want to elevate certain spiritual callings over quote unquote non-spiritual callings. Like,
Absolutely.
It's a much more exalted thing to be a pastor than it is to be a bricklayer. I say, well, God loves both, and God has a place for both, and God calls people to both those things, and they both have a opportunity to honor the Lord and glorify God through their respective callings. And just because one person's a pastor and the other person's a bricklayer doesn't mean that the pastor is more, quote unquote, spiritual than the bricklayer.
Yeah.
Or you see hints of this, I think, in the early church in terms of you have people who buy into this spirit good, matter evil. So in one sense, well, because I'm spiritually alive now to God, it doesn't matter what I do with my body because I'm spiritually alive and body's evil anyway, and so it doesn't really matter how I live. Those kinds of things. Or, well, I shouldn't really care about taking care of my body. It's going to fall apart anyway. It's evil. Like, as Christians, we affirm the goodness, the original goodness of creation, that it's good but marred.
Right.
And that we were created to be physical beings, and that in the new creation we will be physical beings. And that's a good thing. That's how we were made to be. We were made to be embodied creatures, not just free-floating spirits.
Yeah.
So anything else you wanted to add on the Gnostics?
I think I believe it's pronounced Gnostics. You enjoyed that.
I did, yeah.
I look forward to the rest of the series. What do you want to do next? Do we have one written down for next?
We do.
Okay, good. Because I was like, goodness, I'm going to have to come up with 6 of these.
Do you want to give a spoiler alert?
For the next one?
Yeah.
Sure. You can read up and read the Wikipedia article.
We're doing the Ebionites next.
The Ebionites, okay.
Which makes sense because
they're
around the same,
yeah.
They're a different strand of heresy
Absolutely.
that springs out of the first century there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, time now for This Day in Sports History.
This Day in Sports History, October the 7th, 2025. October 7th. 1904, the New York Highlanders beat the Boston Americans. Such a jerk name from Boston. 3-2 at Hilltop Park. New York City four-pitcher Jack Chesbro's MLB record 41st win of the season. He went 41-12. Can you imagine throwing 53 games? Did I do my math right there?
You did, and I mean that he could have thrown more. Where there could have been some no decisions in there too, potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Or
that might have been back in the day where we got one pitcher, you're going all day.
Or you have like 2 or 3, and it's like, well, you're going today, and if you give up 1 run, great, and if you give up 13, well, that's
all she wrote. 1916, Georgia Tech, coached by John Heisman, defeats Cumberland 222-0, achieving the most lopsided score in the history of U.S. college football.
I think it's safe to say that record will not be beaten.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
Can we say football?
What do you mean?
We get rid of the most lopsided score in the history of football. I can't imagine there's a pro score that.
I wouldn't think so, but we're hedging our bets here.
Or a high school score.
Yeah, surely there's mercy rules in place to prevent that.
1984, Walter Payton passes Jim Brown as NFL's career rushing leader.
Sweetness.
Later passed by, I'm blanking on his name.
Emmitt Smith,
yes. 1985,
That's a record. Now, does Emmitt Smith still hold that? He does, doesn't he?
I believe so.
That's a record that could stay because the running game is not as emphasized in today's NFL. And
the careers are shorter.
Yeah. And you don't get guys that are like feature backs like that anymore.
No.
Who are going to get like 25, 30 carries a game for a whole, 16 games, now 17 game season.
Yeah. For 7 or 8 years, Emmitt was getting the ball like that.
Yeah. I think that's one of those NFL records that could stand for a long time.
1995, Terry Glenn caught 9 passes for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead number 5 Ohio State to a 28-25 win over number 12 Penn State in Happy Valley.
Yep. Terry Glenn.
Yeah.
one of the early great Ohio State receivers.
2012, New Orleans quarterback Drew Brees breaks Johnny Unitas's NFL record for consecutive games with a touchdown pass, 48, when he connects with Devry Henderson in a Saints 31-24 win over San Diego in the Superdome.
Yeah. Drew Brees has got quite a few of those NFL passing records.
Yeah. 48 consecutive games. That's pretty impressive.
It is.
And you're talking 3-4 seasons.
Yeah. Who do you like?
Oh, goodness. I forgot I had to pick one. Have we had – I mean, we haven't had Walter Payton yet.
Well, we might have. I'd have to go back and look.
Jack Chesbro.
I mean,
that's quite the name.
That's a great name.
I kind of like Jack Chesbro.
That's a great name. I think we should go with that.
Okay.
One thing you liked?
We had homecoming this weekend, and we dedicated the Tom Roy UPI Park at Miller Athletic Field. Have you been out there to see the new baseball stadium?
I haven't. I've seen pictures online, but not out there.
It would be worth your time.
Yeah.
And I would also say if you can find video of the speeches given, my goodness, it was an impressive little event. The worst speaker went first. That was me. And then I passed it off to Mickey Weston, former MLB pitcher, who spoke about the mission of UPI and how Tom, its founder, fueled that mission. His daughter spoke.
Okay.
His wife spoke. He spoke. Our AD spoke. Our president spoke. A lot of speaking. It was very, very hot on Saturday.
It was, yeah.
I was in a suit. I was sweating. Very, very hot.
Did you bring like a handkerchief, a towel to?
No, I just wore it. I
Okay.
just wore that sweat.
Okay.
And then, but it was a great event. It was very cool. It was
Nice.
very, very cool. Very
Okay.
exciting.
Yeah. So I was not able to attend homecoming because I was speaking at the fall retreat for the crew ministry of Ohio University, my alma mater. And so what's crazy is so my wife and I, we both were students there in the crew ministry back in the early 90s. We graduated, went on staff. So basically we spent the entire decade of the 90s with crew at Ohio University. And when we were first there, it's like freshmen and sophomores, we might have like 60 students go on a fall retreat. This weekend, there were 230 students on this fall retreat.
Wow.
So it was great. And it was incredible to see the realization of things that we had prayed for, 30 years ago, and get to see that. It was fun to connect with the staff team that's there, and the students are great. It's incredible to see that number of students on a secular public university campus on fire for the Lord, wanting to serve Him, walk with Him. And we even had a chance because the retreat wasn't actually at OU, but we drove through Athens on our way and had the opportunity to kind of stop and walk around campus a little bit, kind of reminisce.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Campus changed a whole lot?
Several new buildings for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of there have been some significant either capital campaigns or state money that have probably a combination of both.
Probably a combination of both. Yeah.
That have funded some huge new buildings. But what I appreciate, OU has a beautiful, like classic. It's like the oldest. I think it's the oldest university outside of the 13 colonies in the United States.
Oh.
And so, so it has the classic brick look, and the new buildings that they build, they keep consistent with that, even when there are occasional like little modern touches, but they keep it consistent so it still looks like a classic institution. So just a great, phenomenal weekend for that. And there was a woman there who was one of the women that Kate discipled when she was when we were on staff, when we were students together, like 30 years ago. We hadn't seen her since basically we had graduated. We didn't know she was going to be there.
Oh, fun.
So that was a lot of fun. So that is my one thing I liked. All right, John, we have talked about football and Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, I have the video for you for AfterPod.
Okay. We have talked about the Gnostics, including your favorites, Corinthus, Basilides, and Valentinus.
You had to rub that in. You could pronounce them consecutively like that.
We talked about Jack Chesbro.
Chesbro.
Great name. We talked about homecoming here at OU, and we talked about the OU crew fall retreat.
We talked about homecoming here at Grace.
Did I say that? I said it here at OU?
You said here at OU.
Okay, we're going to re-rack that. 3, 2, 1. We talked about homecoming here at Grace.
There we go.
And we talked about the Ohio University crew fall retreat. And so I think, by definition, we have covered our various and sundry topics. And so all that's left to say is, until next time, the Lord bless y'all real good.
Later.